Priya, am I audible to you? Okay, Zeba, Kiran, I hope you guys are okay. Please, Shakti Priya. Yes, I could see your names, Kiran. Nice, good. All of you are joining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My voice is breaking. Is my voice not clear? Just join all of you, please, quickly. We have a very wonderful session today. We have a very wonderful session today. Great session today. Come on, join me. I'm waiting. Thank you, Zeba. Yes, please join all of you quickly. I have prepared a very good lesson for you guys today. Today we are going to talk about Rag Darbari. I think my network is little poor. Please join all of you quickly. So shall we start? Only 14 people joined. Shall we start? So I'm moving to the next slide. Is it visible to you? Please tell me. The next slide is visible to you. नेटवर्क पुअर है, आने देना। नेटवर्क बहुत पुअर है, पता नहीं क्या हुआ। तो काम करने लगी। नेटवर्क बहुत पुअर है। वॉइस कम किस So am I audible to you, all of you, please? Tell me. Okay, so we are going to start this Rag Darbari today, okay? I hope my screen is visible to you. Now see, today we are going to discuss Rag Darbari. This is also in your syllabus. In fact, actually I'm teaching this text in another section. So that's for what I found that, okay, because it's a already prepared material for me. So I thought of taking this class. And this is in your syllabus. The title Rag Darbari here is not one of the most exquisite ragas of Indian classical music, but refers to the tunes sung by the courtiers of a later day Raja, a village politician. In Shivpalganj, that is Vaidiji, who calls the tune to which everyone dances. The courtiers waltz in and waltz out, but the tune and the tone are unchanged. Rag Darbari is brutal in its honesty. It shocked India. It left India naked. So, if you see in Rag Darbari, this is one of the text which expose Indian society, how the corrupt, untrue, and double standard this society is there. This is a valueless society. In a Rag Darbari, you see how the system is corrupt. It is all, in verbal, everything they are talking about democracy, they are talking about uh, you just give me a minute, okay? Just give me a minute. I'm feeling as if, my network is very poor. I'm not able to understand why this. Okay, so now I could see your comments if you are able to write me. So, this society, Rag Darbar is a brutal in its honesty. Our Indian society is corrupt, it has double standard, and there is no morality. existing in this society. That is what Rag Darbari is talking. And how this democratic system, which is being almost, it's a distracted. How Rag Darbari, Vedji becomes he is the Raja of the present day, and he's playing the tune. And in this way, I mean, this is like how one person is controlling the whole system. Vedji is able to control Vedji is able to control Panchayat Samiti, college, cooperative society, and he's having a huge impact on even the police station, that is Daroga. So, and one more place, there are democratic places, there are democratic institutions, which is symbol of representation of the. You please send me, just write me that you are able to listen me properly. Please reply me that you are able to listen me properly, because I am not able to see the what is going on the screen. I'm just able to see my. Please write me message, because I think my network is very poor today. I'm not able to understand how this. Okay, so okay, now listen. It means it's clear now. So the Rag Darbar, I again read this title. The title Rag Darbari here is not one of the most exquisite ragas of Indian classical music, but refer to the tune sung by the courtiers of the later day Raja, a village politician. And here in Shivpalganj, the village politician or the Raja is Vedji, who calls the tunes to which everyone dances. The courtiers waltz in and out, but the tune and the tone are unchanged. So Rag Darbari is a brutal in its honesty. It shocked India. It left India naked. It means, this is absolutely reflecting the valueless society. And in this way, we come to the next slide. Is it my next slide visible to you? Okay. So every page of the book is filled with humor, dark at times, caricature at others, dry in places, slapstick in other, and sometimes both at the same time. The book is not short on Shukla's rent, but these are charming rents without moral posturing. Rents against the education system, rents against the planning commission and committee, and rents against the idea of idyllic rural atmosphere. So generally what we do, rural society, because in this book only there are the idea of village, okay, the idea of countryside, is there are three scholars we are discussing. Mostly their ideas are being reflected and given prominency. That is the idea of village of Mahatma Gandhi, how Mahatma Gandhi think about village, what Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar think about village. So Gandhi's, according to Gandhi, the idea of village is very, it's a rural, rustic, innocent society which has green, lush green fields, and it's like everything is so simple. But Baba Sahib Ambedkar says Indian village society is caste ridden, it's gender biased, and it is a cruel society which is typically divided on the basis of caste, religion, and it is a very small unit which has every right to exploit whomsoever they want. So Ambedkar never had a very good idea about Indian villages, but Gandhi had a little different idea, and that also we can simply say because it's a caste. So the Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar never got any respect and dignity from the caste, from the village. And that is how he knew, and that is why in 1916, his paper, Caste, its Genesis and Mechanism, even the first line of that paper is also starting with the, when he's referring to the village. That Indian village, people generally think they are very charming, small units and they're democratic setup. But that is not the idea which Ambedkar believed. And in the introduction of the Zillion Right, she's also referring one of the writer. And in that writer, because he's a European writer, so he's giving a little a neutral kind of idea about Indian village. So here, it's a humor, satire, and irony. In almost every single paragraph, you will see it's a humor is there, satire is there, and irony is there. Because even if after finishing this text, this online teaching, you will be able to see this material here. So you can see it again, but right now you'll try to understand. Every page of the book is filled with humor, dark at times, caricature at others, dry in places, slapstick in other, and sometimes both at the same time. The book is not short on Shukla's rent, but these are charming rents without moral posturing. Rents against the education system, rents against the planning commission and committees, and rent against the idea of idyllic rural sphere. So then we come to the next. So declining values of social life. If you see Rag Darbari, if you see which kind of society it is projecting, then we are able to understand what kind of society is this. So a dystopia is a community or society that in some important way undesirable or ugly and frightening. Dystopian are often characterized by dehumanization, totalitarian government, environmental disaster, or other characteristics associated with a cataclysmic decline in society. Rag Darbar is also a fine example of dystopian fiction. It is a novel on declining values in the village life of post-independence India. It exposes the powerless of intellectuals in the face of a strong and corrupt nexus between criminals, businessmen, police, and politicians prevalent in society. The novel is a satirical take on the plight of the common man as society is made subservient by the corruption of the people in the power. So there are few people, we can name even. There are few people who are in the power. They are controlling. So Vediji, both of his son, Badri Pahalwan and Rupan Babu, and one of his, Ranganath, who is the protagonist of this novel. So Ranganath, and Vediji is the maternal uncle of Ranganath. Then the principal Sahib, who is also being appointed by Vediji, and then this chairman of the, because Vediji himself is the chairman of the cooperative society. And then we find Sarpanch, Sanichar, who is his servant, Vediji's servant, a person who is working in his household. He is appointed as a Sarpanch. He's chosen, elected as a Sarpanch. So that is how this, the common people, and there are some, then we find the reference of Chamarwada, and there are some people who are very low in the category, caste wise, economy wise, and their resources wise. So that's why this paragraph is very clear, that how this is characterized by dehumanization, totalitarian government, environmental disaster, and other characteristics associated with it. Rag Darbar is also a fine example of dystopian function and the novel declining values in the village life of post-independence. It exposes powerless intellectuals in the face of strong and corrupt nexus. So what is that strong and corrupt nexus? All of the name which I have taken right now, they are the strong and the corrupt and the powerful people. And how do they control the common man? This is the best example of the plight of the common man. Now, Rag Darbar is a dystopian novel. It's also a fun example of dystopian fiction. It is a novel on declining values in the village life. Post-independence India. It exposes the, because Zillion writes, she says, who is a translator of this text. She writes, she is focusing only the two system, two institutions which are very prominent in Rag Darbari. One is political system and another is governance. So, the social, political and the governance, and how this social, political and governance are playing the role. They're associated with each other. So Rag Darbar is also a fine example of dystopian fiction. It is a novel on declining values in the village life of post-independence India. It exposes the powerless of intellectuals in the face of a strong and corrupt nexus between criminals, businessmen, police, and politicians prevalent in the society. Because if you see, Badiji is not only a politician, but he is a businessman also, because he is running his own this, manufacturing unit of this Chavanpras and all. And he is a criminal also, because whomsoever he want, he is, uh, you know, uh, keeping, marginalizing them. Then he's a corrupt person and he's having nexus. His nexus is with the Sarpanch, Cooperative Society Chairman, Principal Sahib, and Daroga. So that is how they form the nexus. Police and politicians prevalent in the society. The novel is a satirical take on the plight of the common man as society is made subservient by the corruption of the people in power. Rag Darbari graphically presents a realistic portrayal of Indian village life. The novel is set in a village called Shivpalganj, a few miles from a large town somewhere in the Awadhi-speaking region of Uttar Pradesh. The action, the action takes place over the 6-month period during which Ranganath, a young research student, come to stay with his uncle to convalesce after an illness. So how this Rag Darbar is a graphic presentation of the realistic portrayal of Indian village. And the realistic portrayal of Indian villages, it is villages which is a divide. That this society is devoid of women, this society is devoid of marriage, and this society is devoid of equality. These are the basic characteristics we are able to see. Now, Rag Darbar is a willful obstruction. On the one hand, it is novel of Indian village life which belongs to a tradition of rural fiction extending pre-independence and post-independence. On the other hand, it has the destructive intention of satire aimed as ridicule rather than correction or integration and presenting a willful obstruction to the further progress of its own yana. So, you know, this is how the Rag Darbari is going on. Then we come to the next point, that is romanticizing the rural. So generally, the idea which we have about Indian rural villages, so they are rustic, uh, uh, robust people, they are innocent people. There's a society which is existing in a very amicable environment, and this is a society based on the equal values and respect and dignity. But no, this is not the idea. Actually, it is existing. The Indian rural society is what we romanticizing is actually upside down. That is absolutely unromantic, and that's absolutely caste ridden, gender ridden, and it's a discrimination based society. So there is an inherent tendency in the literature to describe the urban space as synonymous with the corruption, immorality and selfishness, whereas the rural is always romanticized as innocent. So there is, the moment we say that city is there, so city is known as cunning, selfish, and corrupt and immoral, and village is considered to be very innocent, heavenly, and equal, any away from any kind of trick and cunningness. So there is one poem, which is compared here. Like Yeats in his poem, The Island of Innisfree. Voices innermost wish to leave the city and go to remote place where life is simple and beauty of the mother nature is all around. He says, I will rise and go now and go to Innisfree. The poem expresses the idea that the nature provides an inherently restorative place to which human being can go to escape the chaos and corrupting influences of civilization. So next is the idealization of the village life. So the way, the village life is being idealized, uh, primarily, this is not the fact or the situation, and that is almost opposite. The idealization of the rural space is ubiquitous not only in English literature but also in Indian literature. There is a yearning and desire to dwell in village which seems innocent, honest, and close to nature. So that's how, the way. I mean, I might have put question mark after this, in the end of the title, idealization of the village life, and then question mark. So the way we are trying to idealize the village society, the fact is actually not existing like that. Okay, then we come to the some reference of the city dwellers. So there are some, comparison, and something is given here, and I'm just reading it for your better reference. So Satyendra Singh in his essay The Urban Experience, the Indian novel foregrounds in some urban novels a longing for the countryside where the frustrated urban dwellers want to escape the ugliness, brutality, and moral corruption of the cities. The city is seen as dinosaurs swelling and assimilating the surrounding area of industrial expansion. Cradle of the Cloud, the Vermilion's Boats, and the Flame of the Forest. Like these are the titles, these are the other writings. Rural urban conflict is depicted as a conflict between good and innocent on the one hand, and evil, lawless, and acquisitiveness and calculations on the other. So, I mean, if you see, there is a clear distinction between the village and the city. So, cities are generally having more population, high rise buildings, transport system, and big industries and institutions, like big buildings are also there. And moreover, at length you will see roads are there, no green field is there. You are not able to see even the land, because mostly it is a construction and a road. So in this way, and lot of traffic you will find, then lot of population overpopulated, lot of this climate pollution is there. So these are the cities. But compared to that, if you see the village unit, and administrative wise also, cities are having major administrations and major institutions, because the population is too much, and the management of the population, supply and demand of the population, market area for the population. So, and then mostly the judicial system, most of the bigger institutions, higher institutions are also established in cities. But compared to city, if you go to village, the unit will be small. The transportation is also very limited. I mean, one place to another, and then everybody knows everybody, and this kind of mostly not so long and lengthy roads are there. You will not find a very heavy traffic and transportation. So it's a small unit. People are moving on a small two-wheeler vehicles, and it's a small unit. People are interacting. So in this way, distance-wise, institution-wise, population-wise, transport system-wise, administration-wise, law and judiciary-wise, and all other kind of uh, other institutions also, you will find that they are not existing there. So in this way, all these institutions, which when you come to across, you are full of uh, I mean, anxiety, and the moment you go to road, you are in a traffic, then you cannot control yourself, because from noises from all sides, honking from all sides. So even if you wish to be quiet and calm, you cannot be, because you are in mid of the traffic. But such kind of scenario and havoc you will not, don't find in villages. So that's how the novel idea of the village, and comparison to the urban. So what is this? Cities are considered to be ugly, brutal, and morally corrupt. But that the same idea you can apply in a different way, the just opposite way, that is the the villages are, or village is a beautiful unit. It doesn't have any brutality, which is innocent, and there is a moral corruption is not there. It's a highly moralized society. But that is exactly opposite idea we are able to see here. Then village through rose tinted glasses. You know, so I mean, you when we see the village society, then maybe you are putting a kind of rose glass spect, आंखों पे गुलाबी चश्मा लगा के फिर आप देख रहे हो गाँव को. Actually आपने चश्मा लगा रखा है, so the color is because of your spect. Actually the color is not there, the pink color is not there. So that's how the contrasting picture of past where the village was viewed through rose tinted glasses as a perfect setting for writing poetry. This is what Wordsworth is saying. How Wordsworth is defining village, humble, rustic life, humble, beautiful, rustic life. The setting for writing poetry, a space divorced from filth and unpleasantness. In the okay, one more thing I forgot. Like this, the way we have big nala drainage system. This kind of big nala you will never find in any village. So like we have a Najaf Kadka Nala, which is so horrific. Even this, uh, wherever you just see, everywhere you will find that the soul, this almost like a river. This water is flowing and this water is dirty. So and that is why it is exposing a lot of poisonous gases. So this kind of scenario you are not able to see in village. So that's are the geographical, physical features of the village. So contrasting uh, what you have this rose tinted glasses. So contrasting picture of past where the village was viewed through rose tinted glasses as a perfect setting for writing poetry, a space divorced from the filth and unpleasantness. That's why I was talking about this Nala. So unpleasantness, filthy and unpleasant. In the days when white men ruled India, dark bungalows were built in a river bank or in valley, forest and mango grooves. That is where the poetry of the Wordsworth, Rabindranath Tagore, and Sumitranandan Pant came naturally to mind. Such things as dust and bustle, cholera, smallpox, plagues, starvation and poverty, ugliness and bad manners and unpleasantness found it's very difficult to reach them. That's what Shukla is also mentioning. In contrast to past idealization, Shila Shukla depicts the village in life in Shiv Palkan, which is extremely realistic, concentrating on the gruesome physical environment where pigs, dogs, man coexist in life and is perpetually hellish hand to mouth existence. So that's how, the half portion of this paragraph is talking about the most pleasant and rural, beautiful, nice environment of the village. But what Shilal Shukla depict is a the gruesome physical environment where pigs and dogs and man coexist in the perpetual hell. So please write me, all of you, that I am audible to you. You are able to see me properly. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. And tell me one more thing. Are you getting this? Is it okay? What I'm teaching is okay? Okay, thank you. Is it helping you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay. So you got the point. So that's why, I'm just keeping these slides even for a long time. So you can click a picture also, right? Or I think I remember last time also the PPT which I have posted in your group also. This PPT also I will post it in your group also, so you can prepare. Okay, so you got the point. So this what village? It's a contradiction of the village, the idea of village actually in a literature and the idea of village which is actually existing. Now the Ragdarbari city and village description. Rural fiction and realism. Raymond Williams, in his theoretical work, The Country and the City, describes how the real history of the country has been astonishingly varied and the warns against generalization and idealization. The same certain image and associations which overlook the multiplicity and complexity of rural life. Even though the city was increasingly represented and seen as a place of ambition, dishonesty, commotion, and greed, William argues that there is a danger in the romanticizing the rural through association and comparison, and that by adhering to the country and city as a popular opposite surface, similarities emerge as expenses of valid ones. So, okay, right. So, what I'm trying to say, you try to understand one thing. When you are talking about the idea of village, okay, at least please mention Raymond Williams. What fictional, there are two things, fictional and realism. Fictional means which is you made a story that is written, but what is in the reality? So fictional could be imaginary, fiction could be unrealistic, but what is actually in reality? So for example, if you think of going to Masuri, and in everywhere on internet, on YouTube, and everywhere you find such a romanticizing pictures, like a beautiful water fountain is there, and such a clean and everything, and literally when you get down there, you just coming out of the bus, and then you simply see a filth is there, dirt is there, smell is there, and suddenly after just 5 minutes there your purse is missing and your luggage is being stolen. Then you find, oh my god, what we saw in fiction or in this romanticizing this place, and actually how brutal and cruel this is, or unclean and filthy this is. Okay, so that is how the description of village, because mostly how village is being represented, and Shrilal Shukla is trying to give the best realistic picture of the village. So the village community is cunning, crude, and manipulative, double standard. It is caste ridden, women, gender ridden. It's a divide society. So there is nothing like any romanticizing. There is nothing like that. There's rose tinted glass through which you can see. The moment you remove these glasses, the reality is before you. I again repeat, rural fiction and realism are Raymond Williams' ideas. So you please remember these ideas. To the next slide. Ragdarbari and basic requirements. Arvind Adiga's novel, The White Tiger, also depicts the darkness of village. He has taken an exhilarating ride through the darkest alley of modern India. The village is depicted as a place where basic necessities such as clean water and home, money, and health are routinely snatched away by the wealthy who live up there in the light. Thus, the novel become and its blurb tell us a tale of two Indians, India of darkness and India of light. So, it's a dark India. What is reflected in Rag Darbari, the depiction of the village is there, which is a dark India and which is a real India, which is a majority of India. Okay. So that's how you have to give this reference. You can compare it with Arvind Adiga's novel, That White Tiger, and then Rush B. So that's how the village is depicted as a place where basic necessities such as clean water, home, money, wealth, and are routinely snatched away. You won't find even a clean water. You don't find even a this basic necessities which are also being fulfilled. So there is nothing rosy about that. Then I come to next slide. So Ragdarbari debunked the election process and how one of the servant who is working in uh, Vedji's home, and Sanichar, a person a person who is illiterate, a person who is unclean, unhygienic, and a person who is a typical patriarchal. Because if you remember the scene when this these boys, all of these boys, they go to village fair, and how they are touching the bodies of the women. And Sanichar is very, very advanced in that. So by this, taking the advantage of the crowd, because people are walking in a very small space, and that you can touch the body. It's because of the crowd. It's easy to touch each other's body, and they are deliberately moving towards women and then touching their boobs and their body parts, and then passing away, and projecting as if nothing happened. And Rupan Babu is also doing this, Sanichar is also doing this. And Sanichar, by reading the description which I was able to find, he's almost a man of age of 45 plus. He's not a very, young. So, and through this description also, we come to know that he doesn't have any married life. So he's a kind of person who is frustrated, maybe sexually frustrated, is a psycho. So, Srila Shukla in Ragadarbari debunked the election process in Indian democracy. The protagonist of the novel, Balaram, sets out to give an account of the election fever, the awe-inspiring splendor of 1 billion people casting their votes to determine their own future. Surprisingly, the great socialist against whom the total of the 93 criminal cases for murder, rape, grand uh, larceny, gun smuggling, pimping, and many other minor offences are pending. Engineers election and remain the boss of the darkness of the declares. So that's how the other character is being compared here, the novel Balram. So that's how and Vediji is also doing the same thing. Where all the money of panchayat has gone, पंचायत का पैसा गबन कर दिया, कॉलेज का पैसा गबन कर दिया, कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी पर पूरा कंट्रोल है उनका, और वैद्य जी इलेक्शन को होने नहीं देते हैं. वो जिसको चाहेंगे उसका इलेक्शन होगा, जिसको चाहेंगे उसको हरा देंगे. और इस पूरे नोवेल में हमें अपर कास्ट, ब्राह्मण और ये एक नेक्सस और सारे पेट्रार्क है, मेल पेट्रार्क. ठीक है, तो इन्हीं का नेक्सस है. और ये ना तो किसी महिला को आगे आने देते हैं, ना ही कोई और कास्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन आने देते हैं, ना ही यहाँ कोई डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम एग्जिस्ट करता है. तो ये पूरी तरह से करप्ट और अब्यूजिव सोसाइटी. So that's how this election process is being debunked here. There is no democracy, no fair selection, no fair election. So Rag Darbari is a selfishness, bravery, intelligence, honesty, race, and those that holds more than one quality. So it is a participant in the annual fight to the death, Logan run, in which both population and the consumption of the resource are maintained in a equilibrium by requiring the death of everyone reaching the particular age. So, Soylent Green, where society suffers from pollution, overpopulation, depleted resources, poverty, dying ocean, and hot climate. Much of the population survives on processed food ration, including Soylent Green. So, Divergent novel, where society loses humanity and people are sorted into the 5 sections based on different qualities: selfishness, bravery, intelligence, honesty, and peace, and those. So, whatever these as characteristics which you take it in a positive way, put everything negative regarding the Rag Darbari. So that's how it is a selfish society. It's a coward society. It is unintelligent. They are dishonest. There is no peace and no quality. Now, theme of the novel. Dystopian work of the art are significantly different across with, see, whatever I am talking is almost everything is a theme. Okay, within artistic forms and genres, but there are certain commonalities that they share to show the socio-political dysfunction. In Rag Darbari, there are certain themes akin to dystopian tradition, and those can be overtly recognized. There are instances in the novel which find an exact parallel in other dystopian novel, and the paper analyzes some of the themes in the light of the other such novels. Now we come to the healthy society. So that's what here I didn't forget to put the question mark. So do you find this is a healthy society? No, exactly no. So political fictional utopians are based on idealistic political principle and depict a healthy society, whereas dystopia through based on some idealistic belief results in negative and devastating consequences of the people. In When the Sleeper Wakes, H.G. Wells depicted the governing class as a hedonistic and shallow. George Orwell contrasts the Wells world to the depicting Jack London's The Iron Heel, where the dystopian rulers are brutal and dedicated to the point of the fantasism, which overall uh, Orwell considered more plausible. Rag Darbari also portrays an unparalleled painting of the current socio-political economic condition in India through a small village, Shivpalganj. Srilal Shukla describes politics as the grassroots UP's highly developed is satirized for its relevance irrelevant to the common man. So the moment you say this is a highly developed state, then you can put a question mark after that. Is it so? That is a question mark. Then hollow slogan of development. So most of the time, if you see the rhetoric of uh, Vediji in in verbal statements, he's always very honest. He's talking good things. He's instructing. Like he never says. Vediji never said that he's going to control the election of panchayat. He never says. He's never saying that he's bypassing all the rules to uh, take the money and misuse the money of the cooperative society. He's never saying that where the money is going, which is being given for the college. He's never said that why he's doing business, making this chavan pras and selling it to the student of the Shivpalganj. His son Rupan Babu, who is 3 times failing, he's 18. He's 18-year-old boy and he failed 3 times in 10th standard. But still, even if he just called for once, and 500 boys will be standing for him, and these boys will not ask what they are going to do. They would simply attack whomsoever if it is being called from Rupan Babu. So you can simply say there is no correlation between what is said and what is done. It's an absolute dichotomy, absolute, uh, absolute, double standard. So Shukla describes Shivpalganj and its denizens layer by layer in loving detail and plays every note of the Rag Darbari, which with its rulers delude them into violating the percept of the decency and self-worth. He exposes in a deadpan prose the hollow slogans of development which with its leader befuddled the villagers. Even in the real life, it would be hard to find a better example of nexus between politician, businessmen, criminals, and police. So this is what the best example of this nexus. Politicians, businessmen, like Rag Darbari, Mediji is a politician. This Gayadin is a businessman. This uh, uh, the there are criminals even. Uh, Even inspector, what is his name is there, inspector. He himself is a criminal, and the police is totally corrupt. There are a number of evidences where you can find it out, and where they casually create all the values that people hold dear. Okay, now next is Vediji and the game of power play. Vediji, being the apex man of the village's most respectable and winner of all the power play and has always defeated everyone in his game whomsoever has rose against him. The respect and luxury of the life that anyone can command in through corruption, nepotism, and favoritism only. All those who try to be lawful or deny the existence of any of the above three will have to pay a hefty price. Vediji treats the Changamal Inter College Management Committee. So, this is how when the general body meeting was happening in the college, Changamal Intermediate College Management, and how the people, villagers and rest of the people who were not of the interest of the Vediji, they were kept aside. And all the 500 boys of Rupan Babu, goons of Rupan Babu, they were standing at the gate of the college. And how this Khanna master was denied. He was denied access or entry in the college. So that is how, they are doing this. Okay. Next is building and or institutions. Cooperative society in the village panchayat as his personal field, fiefdom, but it does represent in an intimate way independent India's democratic administrative culture. The election tricks that are described in the book deride the idea of democracy and self-rule and expose it as a fake it. There, there are three instructive tricks discussed in the novel which helping in winning the election. Ramnagar trick, the Nevada trick, and the Mahipalpur trick. Ramnagar trick become useful when two main candidates are from the same caste and common similar respect. In Nevada trick, Brahmin candidate uses service of the Babaji and Ganja and Bhang to get the better of the rising Shudra. So that's how how they. I mean, there are not of number of political tricks, so which you can simply understand. It's a few of the things, how this actually institutions are being corrupted. So cooperative society, village panchayat, college, and this police station. And this is what one more thing is that this that committee building, na. Uh, One committee building is also there. I'm forgetting the name. Anyway, so in Rag Darbari, Vediji is a feudal lord. He's a master of everything. He's a mastermind. Okay. The election commissioner could, on the insistence of one of the candidates, have his watch run fast by an hour. And said candidate could make sure all his votes had been cast by an hour before scheduled closing, giving him a head start. In Ragdarwari, Vediji, a kind of feudal lord, uses a Mahipalpur trick to beat the Naveda trick and modern scientific philosophy to fight the win of the chain. When Vediji discovered that things aren't happening as it was because he lost control of the village panchayat, he finds a solution right away. His bang makers, a drink of the crushed marijuana leaves, and servant Shanichar, real name Mangal Das, as head of the village committee. So these are the tricks he is planning for the winning the election. Now Sanichar pulled himself together and said, "Arey, no, Maharaj, it is enough that you have considered this unworthy creature worthy of such thing, but I don't deserve this honor." Sanichar was amazed at his own erudition, and then Badri wrestler spoke, "Abe, don't start blabbering now. People only talk like that they become pradhan. Until then, just keep your mouth shut. Sanichar, we agree that you aren't fit for the job. That's why we are making you as a pradhan. If you are, I mean, that's what the satire is there. So if you are intelligent enough and independent person, who would help you? Because you are an idiot and dependent on us, that's why we are making you as a pradhan. So it is not as you are making yourself pradhan. It is the people who want to make you pradhan. You got the point? So Sanichar is able to serve all the purpose or all the task of Vediji. He is a perfect person because he is simply a servant and he will be following Vediji. He is not independent. He is not going out of any order of Vediji. That's why he is becoming. So RD Rag Darbar is a mock government. How does it mocks the government? The people will do as they please. Who are you to interfere? Shukla. As Sanichar elevation shows how hollow the government slogan about strengthening Panchayat Raj really are. As the narrative proceeds to show the real faces and intention behind this posturing. Right now, I mean, if you see, there was a very common word which is used in India, Indian rural area, that is Sarpanch Pati. So there are, seats which are reserved for women, and the women by this democratic system, the women become the Sarpanch, but everything else is managed by her husband. So that's how there are people who are having this tag of Sarpanch Pati, because he's a husband of a Sarpanch, lady Sarpanch. So Vediji winning the election for the college manager with the help of the gun and muscle power ridicules the government set as micro level and invites retrospection of such possibility at the macro level. And I have told you, I think in your class or somewhere else, I told you that it's a microcosm. It's a micro unit to the macro. You by understanding Shivpal Ganj, we can understanding the whole scenario of Indian political system and social system. RD and morality. Family, the moral theme of the rebellion children denouncing their final responsibilities as a remarkable feature of dystopian novel. Fictional dystopias such as Brave New World and Fahrenheit 451 have eradicated the family and deployed continuing efforts to keep it from re-establishing itself as a social institution. In Brave New World, their children are produced artificially. The concept mother and father are being considered obscene. In some novel, the state is hostile to motherhood. For example, 1984 children are organized to spy on their parents, and we escape of a pregnant woman from one state is a revolt. I mean, this is how the morality of the society we are trying to understand. So it's a Rag Darbar is an emotionally bankrupt society. Okay, so mostly novels set up in urban shows the emotional bankruptcy where there is no place for sentimental morality. Novelists have searching analyzing the economic impact of urbanization on the joint family. Then this is Varma in his Bhule Bisre Chitra attributes economic reasons to its demise. He illustrates that our generations on the family, how professional and physical mobility of its members give birth to individual nuclear families, which the younger generations preferring independent control over its money and property, and older generations helplessly accepting it as the inevitable new reality. So that's how. Okay. So I hope you are getting it now. I just have how many? Oh my God, many. So let me just finish because we have too many. Oh my God. I'm coming to that. Nah, just let me come to quickly. I will be little. Okay. Okay, Sanichar. Now we come to the mock government. We have already done this. Okay. Then morality is done, emotional bankruptcy, and Badri wrestler. Badri wrestler is the eldest son of Badiji. Ragdarbari does not explicitly show the disintegrated of the family, but even then, relationship between parents and children is not one of the blind conformity. Badri wrestler want to marry Bela and is least bothered about Vadiji's consent. The feeling of complaint by Kaushar against his son Chote wrestler. The Kusar Prasad. Son Chote wrestler violence behavior witnessed a loss of respect and reverence and towards the parents. Kushar Prasad replied, "No, Inspector Sahib. Now I am out of shape. I don't have that wrestler strength anymore. So you are suffering your son blow in silence. I have told you I'm not up to it anymore." Kusar Prasad addressed Vediji, and you know it in any case. So that's how Badri Pahalwan, because his reference is mostly coming in the marriage reference of Bela, and then Chote Pahalwan. So Badri Pahalwan is having a one, stew. He is always keeping one stew with him always. एक चमचा हमेशा होता है उनके पास. ये छोटे पहलवान है. So before Holi, he had abused me, and I would hit him with a cane. Then what he did was to lift me up to swing me, and if he was going to throw me into the courtyard on my back. But goodness knows why why he put me down. So I just collapsed onto a charpoy around midday. He told me, "Look here, your body is weak. It doesn't have a wrestling strength anymore. When I pick up you to throw you on your back, it was like lifting paddy straw. That's why I don't throw you into the courtyard." From that day, it has been that we don't take liberties with one another. Chote says, "If you want to die, die your own death. Don't rely on me to help you. I have nothing to do with your living or dying." This passage presents a grim picture of the family life where instead of love and affection, muscle power is exercised. Then, Adi unable to stand honest society. So Rag Darbari is unable to stand the honest society. We do not find any honesty there. Okay, so I'm just moving ahead. Then Langar. This we need to read out. In Rag Darbari, Langar is a character who is a representative of the helpless common man, who has to bend in front of the corrupt government system even to get small things done. Langar, whose face is withered by dust and thunderstorm, and whose thin body was covered with a quilted cotton jacket, stands as an epitome of dreary life of poor people under corrupt state institution. Langar's presence in the narrative is all pervasive and his dharma yuddha resolve. He is everywhere in Vadiji's doorstep, Chamrahi's porch, or even standing in front of the court's notice board. This is the hint that precedes his first appearance in the novel. Then we come to the Rag Darbari as a reincarnation. Then Vaidyaji is coming as a he is a reincarnated god. So he has come to deliver everything. Vaidyaji is a god, and how the other people are moving side by side him. The theory of reincarnation was invented in the civil court to so that neither plaintiff nor their defendant might die regretting that the case has been unfinished. Comforted by the theory, so fighting a case of 7 years, Langar has been trolling the month to get one copy of a declaration. He fails to get the copy, but the oath both he and the court clerks swear to neither take nor give become the basis of the Dharma Yuddha. I mean, this is how the court and the judiciary system is being corrupt here. That's how it is talking. So there is a lot of violence. Basically, nobody's killing uh, anyone, but it is a moral violence is there. It's a patriarchal violence is there. It's a kind of very silently people are uh, uh, playing game, and it's a kind of you keeping your iron hand in the glove under the glove of uh, velvet. So that's how the actual face, which is very cruel and very cruel, but what is shown before the people is very honest and smile and good. So that's how the contradiction is there. So Rag Darbari controlling vulnerable masses. By summary, justice on vigilantism or blood sports. So also the Hunger Games and Divergent are prime examples of dystopia, and Rag Darbar is no exception to this. Shivpalganj, muscle power and violence are instrumental for the winning election, earning respect and dominating the control vulnerable masses. Then Vediji, Badri and Rupan, they control the whole society. They are the patriarch of the society. They are the mastermind of the whole. They have the control on every single resource of the village. So Vediji was re-elected as a manager of the college on gunpoint, and instances of the novel where Badri threatened people to confirming using his strength and power, and Chote wrestler violence is manifested in his cowardly act of father beating, because Chote Pelwan is beating his father. I think he has killed his father. Vediji, in spite of his corrupt ways, misleading people, continued to rule Shivpalganj, and some extent too because of his son Hooligan. Both of his son Badri and Rupan Babu, they both are goons. So Vediji was in all remain as a he's a leader of the goons. Then Khanna Master. Khanna Master come as a rebellious, and he's is representing the dissent voice of the novel. Is a dissent voice of the novel. So Khanna Master's rebellion against Vadiji only bring him doom, and he is forced to resign. In the following passages, Khanna master frustration against Vediji while means of the administering the college succinctly highlights the extent to which Vediji exercises power in moral ways. Khanna master controlling the situation doesn't mind his anger. We all at our wits end. It is very difficult. See how uh, see for yourself and appointed three of these relation masters in this July. He is made senior, and that's why because he's not been given promotion, he's not been given proper respect, he's not been delivered even whatever his basic requirements are there. So Khanna master is ultimately has been discarded and disrespected and finally forced to leave the college. Vediji and his son opponents Malviya Khanna Master and Ranganath. So basically, Vediji, these are the opponents. Malviya, Khanna Master, and at some point of time, Ranganath, because at the end of the chapter 35, Ranganath is finally leaving because he was being offered as a post in the college lecture. That's a permanent government post. And he leave that and he doesn't join because he knew that how corrupt this society is there. There are people who rebel against the atrocious regime of Vediji like Khanna Master Malviya Rupan Babu, who rebel against his own father, and even Ranganath, who has pinned his hope only to Khanna group for the improvement of administration in the college. As village politics surrounded Vediji play out, lawsuits, vandalism, and trumped up burglary charges, willing and dealing corruption all take center stage, and Ranganath confronts with such chaos finds his textbook learning irrelevant. So Ranganath, we know there is an inner conflict in Ranganath's mind. His desire to find a peace, serenity, tranquility in the village life slowly falls apart. Ranganath discovers that the concept of village life being purer than city life is a myth that's been shattered with the influx of the petty politics, turf feud, and dubious morality into rural life. Ranganath is in a dilemma. He finds himself helpless and clueless in the face of rapid degradation of the values. And that's why finally he leaves the village. Okay. Then ultimate failure of the society. Climax. The story is often unresolved even in the hero managed to escape the destroy of the dystopia. That's why the narrative may deal with the individuals and dystopian society are unsatisfied. So that's how, and then finally we see uh, Jack Williamson, the narrative, etc. To the it is corresponding, echoing with the same sense. Then Rag Darbari is a hopelessness. This is a complete hopeless society. Hopelessness can be found in such classic dystopian work that is Shivpalganj also turned out to be a land of the hopelessness, feudalism, corruption, politics of disease, and desperation and deceit. That's why we see everything here. Rest of the things you can again read yourself. Then I come to Ranganath escape. At the end, Ranganath escape and live on that world where many intellectuals lie with their eyes closed. He is made to run, and being persuaded by reality. The corruption in Shivpalganj represents the microcosm of the macrocosm India and is a hinted at the end of the novel that this dreary dystopian plight is inescapable and unchangeable. This is quite obvious in the principal's remark that the end when the address Ranganath, how long can you go on escaping from this fact? Ranganath Babu, where are you? And will be taking some Khanna's place. Also, it is quite clear that who tries to bring change in no more than and fool and deviate from the normalcy. The principal listened in surprise and then said, despondently, Babu Ranganath, your ideas are very elevated, but all in all, they just prove you are a fool. So, because he is not joining the college, and that's why he's impractical. So, Rag Darbari, at the end of the Rag Darbari, live in the world where are many intellectuals lies and their eyes closed. He is made to run, and being persuaded by the reality. The corruption is rampant there in Ragdabari. So how this? It is also clear that one tries to bring change in no more than a fool and deviates from the normalcy. The principle listed in the surprise and then the dystopia, then the despondently. Babu Ranganath, your ideas are very elevated, but all in way they are proved to be wrong. And in conclusion, by inverting conventional descriptive logic, Rag Darbari represents the utter failing of the ideals of the nationalist state in their post-colonial implementation and more drastically in their post-Nehruvian disintegration. So then a woman needs no, it's a devoid of woman, post-colonial disillusion, that I'll deal separately. Okay. Then we come to the how this filthy society, there is Rag Darwari means a filth, how this filthy village society is there, become typical example of the dystopian, and Shivpalganj, although having a rural setting, portrays filthy landscape without any beautiful natural setting and which untouched by the human corruption, the invoking relationship between realistic logic and ideal. So that's how it is. And then it is a depressing picture of the Indian society. And these are the references which I will be leaving here. So thank you for being with me. Thank you so much. I hope it might have helped you. So in the end, write me. Um, how was that? Yes, definitely. Ganesh Chaturthi, I don't know, but we have a class tomorrow because I haven't got any message like there is a leave. So I think we'll be having a class tomorrow. Sure. Zeba will be having a class because I haven't got any message that there is a leave. If it is so, please inform me. So all of you, please write me down. How was that? I'm winding it up. I am winding it up, dear. Thank you. Yes, because I don't know, but the class will be there. We'll have a class tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Excellent, awesome. Wow. Did you find it excellent, awesome? Thank you, thank you. But I'm improving. I told you I'll be improving. Now, next, the moment we are, yes, yes, I will share the PDF. Sadia, I will share the PDF, dear. Just now I'll share it, okay? Yes. Okay, Shivani, Sadia, Divya, Tanu, Vidushi, Shakti, Sadia, Palak, Shruti, Sunita, Kiran. But I just want that why there are only 20, 25 students are joining. At least inform, or there are 60, 60, 70 students in your class. They can join, they can join. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, okay, God bless you. So what I'm trying please ask others also. Hmm? 54 join. I mean, 54 join. I'll be there only. Okay, so I'm winding it up. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay? 7:30. Bye.